Well, good evening. I'm back in the kitchen again. I guess, y'all know this is just my happy place. And I'm going to make a dish today that I've always loved. This is another one of those that I was there when she made it, and I kind of got her to measure what she put in it because she didn't have it written down. But my Grandma Camel would make what she called butter roll. It's another one of those dishes that I guess came from the Depression era where you used what you had and you turned it into something fantastic. I'm going to make a butter roll for y'all, and you'll see how simple and easy it is. You might have had it before and it may be brand new to you. Makes you think a little bit of a cinnamon roll, but oh my goodness, you don't have to wait for it to rise, and punch it down and redo it. It's just so good, and it was one of my favorite things that Grandma made. So I'm going to bring the camera down where y'all can watch, and you can make your own butter roll. You won't be sorry. It's yummy. Okay, into my processor I have put 3 cups of flour, and I'm going to add a cup of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powders, and a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to whiz that up a little bit, and then I will add the liquid. Okay, I'm just going to whiz this up just a little bit to incorporate all of the dry ingredients. Okay, just like when you're making a pie crust or the dumplings, you're going to add in your Crisco and let it whiz around till it's kind of like cornmeal. Just make sure it's all dispersed in there. And then you're going to add milk, and it usually takes about 1 cup of milk to make the dough to where you can roll it out. You want to put enough milk in it to make it stick together real good and make a nice ball. Okay, that's all whizzed up. Let me see if I can undo it where y'all can see. See, it just has kind of a mealy look to it. That means the Crisco is all mixed up in there really well. Now I'm going to start pouring my milk in and making my dough ball. And I've got just a cup of real cold milk here. Just going to pour it in as it's mixing. Okay, that is with 1 cup of milk, and y'all can see how it's pulled the dough to the side. That lets me know that it's just about right. So right about 1 cup of milk. It's a little bit sticky, but you're going to roll it out on a floured board, so that's going to be just fine. So let me get this over to the butcher block where I'm going to roll it, and we'll get it rolled out, and I'll show you what we do next. This is my dough, and I've got it out of the food processor. And it's good, the taste of it, because it's sweet. Sprinkled it with a little flour, and you want a little flour on it because that helps the juice that you pour over it to cook it to thicken. And I always try to flatten it out. And if you don't have quite enough liquid in it, it's just going to split and make a mess. So you just make you a big old rectangle out of the dough. You can see I didn't have it floured good enough because I got some that's a stick in here. Hooey. What you do, you roll it out, and then you're going to sprinkle it with cinnamon and sugar. You can buy it already mixed up, or you can take about 1/4 of a cup of cinnamon to about probably 3/4 of a cup of sugar, however strong you want your cinnamon. I'll try to mix up a little something here where I'll have it exact for people that need that. Now, the first thing you do when you get it rolled out like this is you're going to take and you're going to rub soft butter all over it. I think a stick and a half is going to be sufficient. That's about what I've got here that I've used so far. See, if you rub it too hard, it's going to tear. I have to be a little more gentle. This is a lot more fragile than pie dough. Okay, once you get it coated in butter, and you get it off your fingers best you can, I'll just roll that all up into the situation directly. That's wasting it, but I'm sure not going to lick it off my fingers. Now, I mixed way too much cinnamon and sugar, but I use cinnamon and sugar for lots of stuff. So I used 1/4 of a cup of cinnamon to 1.5 cups of sugar. That's just the ratio that I used. And all you do, just sprinkle it on, just like you would if you were making a cinnamon roll, if you've ever made cinnamon rolls. Some places they're going to be a little stouter than others, isn't it? Okay, and then this is the fun part. When you get this done, you're going to do the best you can to just start rolling it. Just lay it over itself. And like I said, it'll break some, and you have to work with that. Kind of press it, and then you're going to roll it again. Roll it again. Just keep rolling it till you get a long cylinder, just because what we're going to do is cut this in little pieces, and then we're going to put it into the pan, and we're going to make a sauce that goes over the top of it while it cooks. And this flour that's left over on here is going to help that sauce mixture to thicken, and this makes the best dessert. In the meantime, in this pot on the stove, I have 4 cups of evaporated milk, 1.5 cups of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I just want to warm that. I don't want it to boil. I don't want it real hot. I just want it warm. I'm just going to cut me some pieces about 1 inch thick, and then I just kind of shape them, and you want to set them in the pan. Now, they're going to rise a little bit because of that baking powders. So give them a little, you just push them in a little bit, and that makes them kind of rounded. They're going to, they will rise and fluff up some, but it's not a yeast taste to it. It's just, it's good. That's all I know to tell you. And that juice that forms from all of this thickening from the flour and that canned milk and sugar and butter and cinnamon and all of it, it's wonderful. And they do warm up good, but we prefer it still. I like to cook it and give it time to almost come to room temperature, but to still be warm from the oven. That don't make much sense, but you want it still warm when you serve it. That's our favorite way, but my daughter will eat it till the last piece is warmed up. Grandma's butter roll, and it is yummy. This last piece is going to be a little bit bigger, but I'm going to wedge him right in there. Okay, y'all see? I've just got them all in the pan, waiting on the milk to warm. And I think it should be about warm, and it is. And you can use just regular milk if you don't want it quite as rich. This is how Grandma Camel made it. This is how I make it. Okay, I've got my oven heating to about 350. And I'm going to put my thermometer in there and be sure. But you won't, you're going to cook it till it's bubbly, and of course the dough is done, but it's going to kind of get a beigey light brown on the top. So I'm going to pour my stuff over it if I hadn't got it too hot, and it's just right. Just right. I can put my finger in it without it burning. So you're just going to pour this over it. And they're just going to swim a while. Oh my goodness. When that rich broth thickens, it is heaven on earth. You just want to scoop the broth out from amongst and around them. Okay, so I'll bring you back when I get it done. Okay, y'all, I just got the butter roll out of the oven. And here's what it looks like. See, it soaks up the juice and some of it kind of browns over. But when you pick up a piece of it, there's going to be some of that juice to scoop up with it. And it's rich, it's decadent. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. And here is a good close-up of one of it all plated up. Friends, y'all have one more of my long-time favorite recipes. My apron's about to come off of me here. This is one that I've loved since I was a little kid, and I told y'all I'm 67 years young, so I've been loving it a while. And it was from my maternal grandmother, Grandma Camel. She's the only one I ever knew that made it, but my goodness, I loved it. So y'all need to try it. Doesn't take a lot of fancy ingredients, but it sure tastes as good as any fancy dessert you've ever had. Need to try it. I hope y'all will write down some of these recipes, copy them, take a picture of the card, make them in your kitchen and share them with your friends and family. The best place to share them is around your dinner table, and then have that delightful feeling when they say, would you mind sharing that recipe with me? That means, whew, this stuff is good and I need to make it at my house. See there? Get them around the table. Maybe we can have a saying, you cook it and they'll come. I hope the Lord protects y'all and keeps you. Hope you make some family time. Spend some good quality time with your family and your friends. Make some memories we're not promised tomorrow. So make today count. I'll see y'all tomorrow with something else good and yummy, and you won't be disappointed. The good Lord bless you.